Hey, Ron Bultongez.
Yo, what's going on? Hey.
Thank you so much for coming out. I know right now your schedule's crazy hectic, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So,
Yeah, appreciate it.
just so we can dive right into things, how far did you make it on American Idol?
Um, American Idol. I made it to the top 24. Um, it was like 10 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, top 24 out of how many people?
Um, I know that I think it was like 45,000 auditions. I think what I've
45,000.
heard.
Wow.
Yeah, and so um, every round I was kind of like, you see the numbers start to dwindle down and get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it was unreal.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And who were the main judges on American Idol this season?
The judges were Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan. So all pretty amazing artists
Amazing.
who've done incredible things in the industry. So that was crazy.
That's really crazy. And okay, so we have Luke Bryan. He's a country legend. Katy Perry, pop legend. And of course, Lionel Richie, one of the biggest legends ever in music.
Yeah.
What would you say were your main takeaway from all three of those people?
I think that I learned a little bit from each one of them. Well, I learned a lot from each one of them, but some of the main takeaways were like, you know, Lionel Richie, a walking piece of music history. And um, I remember after I sang and he kind of started to give me his feedback. He started talking about the Commodores. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm out here in
Brick House.
New York City at Madison Square Garden, and I'm being talked to by Lionel Richie about the Commodores. It was just so surreal. And one of the main things about him was just, you know, he talked about a lot of things. He had a lot of wisdom to say. He's been in the industry over 50 years, and he just really wanted, me to remember that I am special in what I'm doing. And I think it's really important to feel special and to know you're special as a person, but really as an artist a lot. And with Katy Perry, my song "New Cycle" was actually kind of inspired by her because I remember her initial feedback was like, "I don't think you've discovered yourself as an artist yet."
Yes.
And it kind of like set me on fire a little bit, and I was like, in between that moment before they brought me back on the show, I had some time to kind of start working on ideas for the song. I'm like, I'm gonna create a song that is Ron, my sound, my artistic style and everything. And I came up with my song "New Cycle," and what I took away from her was always be an authentic version of you.
Yeah.
Because so many times in the industry we try to make the song that's going to be super marketable or like
what can sell?
right, what's going to sell. And really, the best thing you can be as an artist is you. And that's kind of where I took away from her. And with Luke Bryan, what I took away was just like, have fun. He's a good old like country guy, and he believes that most people are good. He's just kind of like, he reminds me just to be human and to have fun.
Of course, and I can only imagine how much that's built you as an artist. But I also think something that's extremely important is where did you come from? So tell us a little bit more about your origins and how that's driven you to here.
Yeah. So I credit everything that I've been able to do, everything I'm doing, and everything I will do to the community of people who I've been able to be surrounded by. So I was born in Kinshasa.
Wow.
And,
the Congo?
Yeah, and from that very moment, everyone in the area where I lived, they would call me L'homme de demain, And since I was before I could speak, they were constantly speaking this, like destiny and this
prophecy,
and into my life from such a young age. And then, but yeah, that's where I was born. And fast forward, I would say the second where I'm from is Plano. Plano, Texas. The city of Plano really, in some of the dark times that I've had, and they came together and really took care of me and raised me. And so the city of Plano is really special to me.
So I actually saw recently a huge major article that the city of Plano wrote about you They're calling you the fastest rising star in Texas.
Yeah, so there's Plano Profile magazine and just Plano magazine. They've written
They love you.
a lot of really cool things about me. The Plano Star Courier, Plano podcast. You know, they've given me a lot of love. But the 91.7 KXT, which is the radio station that premiered my song, my latest single on FM station. That was amazing.
Amazing.
They put out this article about how I'm quickly making a name for myself in the North Texas area. So that was really special. It was really nice to see that.
So I know Plano's just done so much for you as far as support, encouragement, and even bringing you as far as where you are today. Is there anything you have with you today?
So I brought this, I play guitar when I'm on stage. I brought this guitar strap. One day I was contacted by the city of Plano, and they invited me to City Hall, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I in trouble? Did I do something wrong? But and they created this guitar strap for me, and it's a customized guitar strap that says Love Plano. And I remember when I was reading a article, I named my first record "Thank You Plano" because I was so grateful for the city. And at the very bottom of this article, it says, "You're welcome, Plano." It was just like, it was awesome. And then, side note too, one time I was sitting in the car after eating at Chipotle, in my car, not your car.
Chipotle.
I was eating at Chipotle, and this police officer comes up to my window, and he taps on my window. I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? Like, is there something wrong with my car? And I roll down the window, I'm like, officer?
Yeah.
And he just literally complimented me. He told me he was a fan. And so I was like, that's so cool. And so the love is definitely real in Plano.
That's amazing, guys. And Ron isn't feeling too well today, but we're actually going to go ahead and share this amazing clip of him singing. You guys enjoy it. Fan base, actually. What do they call themselves?
Well,
And where did it come from?
to me, it's like my fans we're like this big family. Whenever we were on American Idol, they really wanted us to create a sense of community because that's what people love. Community. They like to belong and feel appreciated and stuff. So you kind of let the fans name themselves, and so I knew that. So my last name was Bultongez, so I came up with the lightning bolts, and then like someone came up with Roniak, and I was like, so I put up a poll on social media, and the fans spoke for themselves, and so since then they've been calling themselves Roniaks, and so it's pretty cool.
So when was the first moment you realized how much your fans cared about your music and how expressive they were about it? What was that moment?
Man. Let me think. It's kind of like a double answer. So the first time I really felt appreciated I felt that people really appreciate what I was doing it was super early on. I started really pursuing this December 2015, so this is all still pretty relatively early for me. But it was my first booked performance. It was at this little restaurant in downtown Plano, of course, called Angela's at the Crosswalk, and I was set up to play there, and I don't think the place had ever been so packed before. And this is friends, family, people that knew me from the shelter I used to live in. I spent a lot of time in this children's home called City House, and all these people came and they supported me. So that's the first time I felt appreciated really, really early in my career. But it wasn't until I think it was like I did a concert at Trees in Dallas, which is one of the most historic venues that Dallas has to offer. And I looked out there and I was like, that's not just friends and family anymore. And it was so cool. It was just like there are people who drove 8 hours to be there. People drove 4 hours to be there. There are people that came from everywhere just to be there. And there's nothing that makes you feel more appreciated than people spending their time, because it's so valuable. Time is this irreplaceable, irretrievable thing. Once you spend it, you can't get it back. There's nothing you can trade it in for that's better. And so these people spent all their time commuting and coming to the show, people I've never met before, and that really made me feel like I was doing something that people really appreciated.
I can only imagine. And I personally, I've been following your music for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that moment for me, because I, at that point, when I started following your music, you already had, sold out concerts and things like that. I think when I first realized how much your music was moving people is when I was seeing all these covers popping up on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
these were new songs that you did, and you already had people who mesmerized it, learned how to play it on guitar, and were
Yeah.
posting it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I mean, how did that feel?
that was crazy. I think it was like I got on Twitter one day
Mm-hmm.
and I saw this, like, notifications was blowing up, and I saw that a girl tagged me
Mm-hmm.
in a video, and I clicked it, and it was after my single came out, like right after my single came out. It was this little girl up north. I think she was like in I think New Jersey or somewhere around that area, northeast, and sure enough, she was like covering my song and
Yeah.
playing it on the guitar and singing it, and I was just like, this is crazy, you know. And then there was someone else that, even before that moment, I just remembered, like, there was a guy in Dallas who covered my song, and it's just like there's no bigger compliment as an artist than someone,
I can only imagine.
It was crazy.
So, I'm aware that your community is very involved with your
Uh-huh.
music career, and we can even say they're responsible for how far it's gone. What are you currently doing in the community now to give back?
So, I'm very passionate about a lot of things, but one of the things I'm most passionate about is um, investing in the people in the community that invested in you. And for me, I have long-term goals, and I've done a few things here and there with an organization I started called Kick Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And that organization, the motto is kicking hope into the Congo, one soccer ball at a time.
Wow.
And I've got some really major plans for that organization and what I want to do over there. But I think that it starts right where you are. And I believe that if everyone in the world started right where they are, the world will be a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to really
Definitely.
start right here in Dallas. Um, and I go to a lot of different schools. I especially love to go to alternative schools where the kids are like behavior students, you know, just can't get their act right. You know, people don't take the time to realize these kids are probably just going through something at home or can't get their grades right. So I like to go speak to these students. I bring my guitar. I'll share my story with them and some of the adversities and things I've gone through and overcame
Mm-hmm.
in hopes to encourage them. And then we do a song or two and we have a good time. So I do a lot of that. And then I also work with different nonprofit organizations, just, coming out and putting on performances for the galas or their fundraisers and just trying to spread a positive message.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
Ron. And if you had to share a message right now with the people who follow you and your fan base, what would you tell them?
Um, First thing that comes to mind is that I absolutely love them, every single one of them. I can't wrap my mind around. Maybe it's because I don't understand what it's like to have a million fans. But as of right now, I can't fathom people who treat their fans poorly.
Mm-hmm.
They're the very reason why we get to do what we do. And so I'm very, very grateful. So I tell them I love them. But I have these two really important lessons that I like to, tell everyone. I was like,
Yeah, let's hear them.
the number one most important lesson is that life is not fair. And, it's pessimistic to some people. But I think the sooner you understand that life isn't fair,
Mm-hmm.
the better off you'll be. But then on the same token, the second most important lesson is to understand that, like, while life isn't fair, you don't have to go through it alone. We can go through things together. I
Yeah.
think of it kind of like being in the gym and you're benching. Clearly, I don't spend a lot of time in the gym. But, but you're benching and, the adversities in life are like the plates.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get lighter.
Yeah.
You just get stronger, and when you have people helping you lift it, it's less pressure, less weight on you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my two things I like to leave people with.
Awesome. So you guys heard it here, the message he has for his fans. And what can we be expecting from you in the future? What serious projects do you have going on this 2019?
Man, 2019 is going to be, I feel and I believe it's going to be a really big year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember December 2015 when I started, that New Year's Eve night, I got booked to play a New Year's Eve show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just me, uh, the band that played before or after me, and then there was like two people at a bar just drunk, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just, and nobody came out. And I was thinking to myself, I'm going to create this 3-year plan
Yeah.
for my career. And I was like, in 2016, I'm going to experiment
Mm-hmm.
and experiment with my sound. In 2017, I'm going to expand.
Mm-hmm.
And, I played as far west as LA and as far east as Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And in 2018, I was going to explode. So that was my plan. And I would say relatively, it's worked out that way. And I think now my plan for 2019 is to take it to the major level.
Yes.
I'm looking to create songs, records, videos, concerts at a major level, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to, I think that I have every single tool and support system and team that I need to be able to be one of the guys at the major level.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for spending your time here with us today.
Thank
And
you.
we're hoping for huge things for you this 2019. And we heard it here first, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.